At 480 feet above the ground and 4,500 years old, what was inside this pyramid that made researchers send a robot and a camera inside to see it? At one point, the robotic camera stopped because there was a stone slab in front of it. Researchers believed that behind this slab lay a secret that had been buried for the past 4,500 years. To uncover this secret, they attached a drilling machine to the robot, which drilled a hole into that stone slab. Now a camera was sent through this hole, and it captured a scene that no one had seen for the past 4,500 years. Welcome to today's video. Let's take a look at the 138 pyramids in Egypt that have withstood dozens of earthquakes and many dangerous storms over thousands of years. But the surprising thing is that none of these pyramids have even shifted from their place. Among them, the tallest and largest pyramid is known as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Its base covers an area of 13 acres, meaning that 9 football fields could easily fit inside this pyramid. It is estimated that 2.3 million large stones were used in the construction of this pyramid, many of which weighed 50 tons. If we calculate the total weight, this pyramid weighs about 6 million tons, equivalent to the weight of 12 Burj Khalifas. But what was the purpose behind building such a tall and magnificent pyramid? Thousands of years ago, when humans didn't have modern tools, how were the pyramid's walls leveled inch by inch? How were 50-ton stones cut into square shapes and lifted 480 feet high without cranes? And which engineers were responsible for making this pyramid earthquake-resistant and setting all its sides at an exact angle of 51.5 degrees? You will find out all of this in today's video. So let's start with challenge number 1. Challenge 1. Setting the directions for centuries. Research teams have been trying to figure out how each side of this pyramid was aligned perfectly to the north, south, east, and west directions without any compass. Many experts believe that the architects of that time first searched for land that could bear the weight of millions of tons of stones. After that, they likely used polar stars, the stars that indicate the Earth's poles, to mark the directions of the pyramid's sides. No compass, no optical instruments. Just this basic technique was used thousands of years ago to set the pyramid's directions. Challenge 2. Leveling the ground. The next challenge was to level the ground perfectly. For a pyramid built on 13 acres of land, even the slightest unevenness could have made it impossible to construct this massive structure of 2.3 million stones. Many experts believe that walls were built on all 4 sides of the construction site, and water was filled inside. By observing the water level, the ground was leveled. Any part of the ground that didn't match the water level was chipped and hammered down to make it even. Some experts also believe that a simple tool was used, consisting of 2 wooden sticks with a stone hanging in between by a rope. If the stone touched the ground and the rope remained perfectly centered, it meant the ground was perfectly level. Challenge 3. Cutting the stones. Now that the pyramid's directions were set and the ground was leveled, it was time for construction. For this, millions of tons of stones were needed. But to cut these stones, they didn't have grinders or modern chainsaws. Yet they managed to cut 50-ton stones into square or rectangular shapes. How? Yes, experts believe they used tools made from a special type of plant. The chisels used in the pyramid's construction were not made from pure copper because copper is too soft and cannot cut stone. So, they mixed a chemical and arsenic with the copper. These chisels, made of copper and arsenic, were hammered onto the stones with wooden mallets, and after hours of hard work, the large stones were shaped. Challenge 4. Transporting the stones. This special type of stone, known today as limestone, was brought from the city of Tura, 250 kilometers away from the pyramid construction site. Now the question was, how were such heavy stones transported? Each stone weighed 50 tons, roughly equal to the weight of 3 passenger buses. At that time, there were no vehicles to transport such heavy stones, and no animals could carry that much weight. Amazingly, this task was accomplished using boats and barges. By taking advantage of the river flowing between Tura and Giza, large barges were loaded with stones and brought to the pyramid site. Experts believe that at least 500 workers would have worked together to load and unload these stones from the barges. Challenge 5. Lifting the stones to great heights. Once the limestone was cut, transported, and construction began, The next question was how these heavy stones were lifted to such great heights. Many experts believe that even before the pyramid construction started, it was planned that stones would be lifted using either spiral ramps or zigzag ramps. But one thing is certain, these 50-ton stones were pulled up with the help of an army of workers. Challenge 6. The use of granite. Inside the pyramid, compartments were built using granite instead of limestone. Granite is one of the hardest stones in the world, second only to diamond. Even in today's modern era, large grinders are needed to cut granite. But how did the Egyptians cut granite so precisely 4,500 years ago? Finally, after years of research, experts solved this mystery too. They used a saw to cut the granite, but this saw had no teeth. This toothless saw was operated by applying weight on both sides while sand or gravel was poured in between. Experts believe that it took about 4 months to cut a large stone using this method. But what was the real purpose of building the pyramid? How many workers worked together to build these pyramids? And when the robotic camera drilled a hole through the stone slab inside the pyramid, what did it reveal on the other side? A sight that no one had seen for the past 4,500 years? You will find out all this and much more in part 2 of the video. Thank you so much for your loving comments and likes. See you in the next amazing part of the video.